Yo, 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 yo. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to MJC Sports YouTube channel. Max, we're recording this for a second time. All right. We just corrupted a file.
The
Um,
mystery's dead.
I
We
hate
know
I
what we're
hate
going to talk about.
technology. Now we're gonna have to switch up our whole rankings, okay? Because
Yep.
yeah. Look, how you doing tonight? Again.
It's good. I'm good. I'm ready to talk about this. The small talk on me is dead.
I know.
No, let's.
One of
Yeah,
the best edge rushing classes, right?
correct. Yes, I think it's better than last year. I think it's better at the top. It's better in depth. I think the guys we fell in love with last year, maybe I wouldn't be in as love with them if they were in this class. I guess the big question is Abdul Carter, would he be this year? I'm not sure. I think it'd be a discussion. And I think that
Yes.
just speaks to how good this class is. In my mind, my three top guys, I have a chance to be really special in the NFL. And then there's a bunch of guys as you work your way down where it's like, I wouldn't bet against them finding success. I think they could find like a really prominent role in the defense. So
Well, that brings me to this question.
yeah,
By the
let's
way,
hear.
make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment down below any thoughts, opinions that you guys have. What do you look for in an edge rusher, Max, when you're scouting them?
I think there's a big conversation we have to have, but what I look for is just, of course, athleticism. This position is so tough to weigh skill level compared to athleticism because you look at all the great edge rushers in today's NFL one. They're mostly freaks of nature, just strong, fast, quick, good change of direction, and they're skilled. It's not like you can just have one guy who's so athletic, you can just win with athleticism all the time. That's not a viable pathway to success in the NFL. So, of course, it's a combination of things. And now the big discussion is when you rank these guys, how much do you put into the guys who are going to be a little bit more of a projection? Obviously, we have a guy in Arvell Reese who's new to the position, who splits his time there between linebacker. We had guys like that last year. Jalen Walker, he was pretty good as a rookie. We had Micah Parsons a few years ago. Abdul Carter on a lesser extent. How do you weigh that with a guy who I would say Rueben Bain, who's probably a better player right now, compared to a guy who has the rare traits and could be really special? That is a discussion, and to each their own. I think based off last year, I'm kind of leaning towards more of the traits in my list as we go through it, but we'll see. What do you look for?
Look, I look for a complete player. I look for a guy that can
Yeah.
rush the
Okay.
passer, has moves.
Somebody safe. Yeah, these are all code words, guys. This is just I look at guys with a high floor and good character. And I don't want superstars.
I'm looking
just
for
want
Raiders.
good players.
That's what I'm looking
Yeah.
for.
No, continue. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Look, I look for guys that have a tool bag though, and this is what I call it. I call it a pass rush, tool belt, tool bag. You know, how many moves do you have a plan going to the quarterback, essentially? And I just don't really lean towards the guys who don't have a plan because when it comes down in the NFL, these tackles are way too good. They're way too lengthy. You're going to get stopped. You're not going to just bull rush your way to the quarterback every single play. Now, yes, are you going to have physical specimens at times? Yes, 1000%. But for the most part, not everyone is Reggie White. Not everyone is going to be strong as hell and just bulldoze their way through. You're going to have a plan. And even the best guys in the NFL, the Khalil Macks, Nick Bosa's, Miles
Yeah.
Garrett, those guys are technicians and they're freaks. That's the
So
difference.
one loves a plan. I like the Joker from The Dark Knight. I've never really been much of a planner. Doesn't matter.
And I like a guy that can stop the run. Just want
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Who needs guys to just rush the passer one? Who needs that? Who needs that? So I guess without further ado, you want me to give my list first, or you want to do your list?
Let's do it. Go ahead and say your list, and I want you
I'll
to
do 1 through 10.
and I want
I'll
you
do 1 through
to
10.
do the tiers as you do it.
Okay. Arvell Reese, Rueben Bain, David Bailey. That is my top 3. Right there is a tier. Those 3 guys to me are special. I think they're all Bailey's on the outside circle looking in, but even there's like his game, you could be like, damn, that could be really special. My 4 and 5, Akeem Mesidor, Zion Young, That's a tier in itself. 6 through 8 is a tier. Gabe Yaquez, Derek Moore, Malachi Lawrence. Thank God that we lost that recording since I butchered his name. And then my 9 and 10, I would say 9 through 13 has a chance to be like good in their own way. 9 is TJ Parker, 10 is Cassius Howe. When we go through this list, you're going to hear us say a lot of things. A little bit light in the ass and short arms, but they're still really good players. I just want to specify that before we get into it.
Yeah, 100%. Let's get into my list, my 1 through 10. I got Rueben Bain, Messidor, Arvell Reese, David Bailey, Derek Moore, Zion Young, Cassius Howell, Malachi Lawrence, TJ Parker, Gabe Yaquez. Now, my tiers. My tiers go, Rueben Bain is all by himself in 1. I do not have a 1A, 1B. My number 2 through 4 is Akeem, Arvell, and David Bailey. All 3 of them.
How is that a tier? You have one guy who's 29. You have another guy who's like can't even drink. And then you got a guy who got a DW.
Player. To me, I see them as a certain level in their own way. That's the way I
got
see
you.
it.
I'm just busting your balls. Okay, continue.
So number 5, he has his own tier. Derek Moore at 5.
I like that.
6 through 7, Zion Young and Cassius Howell.
Oh, the kids will love that.
Yeah.
6, 7. Okay.
I know, right? In their own little tier. And then 8 through 12 for me. I know I don't have my 12 all, 14, 15 of my guys, but 8 through 12, all of them in the same tier. So for the 8 through 10, for now, it's Malachi Lawrence, TJ Parker, Gabe Yaquez, and then Keldrick Falk and Jashawn Barham are the other guys on there. So look, that's my list. That's Max's list. Now we got to get into some of these guys and deep dive them.
Yeah, we're not going to have time for everybody. This class is too deep. But let's think we should start with Rueben Bain.
I think we really want to hit on like 5 or 6 guys really good. Yeah. And I would say after that, we're probably going to gloss over them a little bit.
Yeah, we'll just give them a little glaze.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So let's start
off with glazer.
Let's start off with my number 1. Let's start off with my boy, Rueben Bain out of Miami. 6'2", 263 pounds, 30-inch arm length, and 7/8. Well, you got to give him that 7/8.
31, basically.
Yeah, but you know what? Let's give him 31. Max I love how Max loves to round up with these numbers, but with Bain.
No, the height. Just the height.
Yeah.
The guy's 6'2". Right. No, I'm saying like the guy's like 5'11" and 3/4. I'm like, all right, we'll call him 6 feet. Like, so, are you telling me 1 inch matters, one?
Hey, man. Every inch counts, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
Got to give them all. Okay, look, I want to go over his stats real quick. 83 total tackles. That's first in the NCAA. 21 solo. 12 sacks. That's second. 3 quarterbacks hits. And 68 hurries. That's first. The next guy is 43.
Can I add one thing to this position that makes it incredibly difficult to scout?
Yeah.
You have a guy with an amazing stat line like that, and we had another first-round pick in Odafe away a couple years ago. He didn't have a sack that year?
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's just like the nature of the position. It's insane. But
exactly.
Tell me about Rueben Bain. Tell me what you loved. Fun fact, he's part T-Rex. He's part dinosaur. He's a T-Rex. Because he got short arms.
Don't disrespect Rueben Bain like that. I hope one day he finds you and kicks your ass, because this guy kicks ass.
He can't reach.
Field. I'll
use my long arms to get out of it.
He'll reach you. Don't worry. He'll find
you. Hey.
He's
married.
On a serious note, most complete player in the draft, in my opinion. One of the strongest players. You know what? I'm gonna say it. The strongest player I have ever watched on tape. Now, granted, I didn't watch.
At Edge?
Yes, at Edge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the strongest player. Me and Max have only been doing this extensively for 4 years. So obviously there's probably other players that have looked stronger on tape.
You don't remember Justin Smith coming out?
Yeah, you don't remember him, bro?
You don't know fucking ball. You don't know ball. Did you play Edge?
Exactly. I would hope so. But strongest player I've ever seen from the edge position. He has Popeye arms. That's what I wrote in my notes. He reminds me of Popeyes with his big ass arms, bro.
So player comp Popeye, the sailor. Okay,
exactly.
I get it.
Look, the bag, I would say, like his pass rush bag, unlimited, bro. Like he has it all. The hands. I gave him a 10 out of 10 in hands category because he's just so well with how Jason Taylor winded up coaching him up. You can tell this guy is well polished as a pass rusher. And like I said, he's a complete player. He's an ass kicker against the run. He is an absolute maniac on the field. He's just everywhere. He's diving at people. He's knifing through offensive tackles. He's throwing them on the ground, making
Yeah.
splash plays in the backfield. He's everywhere, bro. And then most of all, he knows who he is. He absolutely knows who he is. You're going to talk about the arm length, and that's going to be the thing that comes out of everyone's mouth.
Well, you
I
guys hated Will Campbell. He had short arms.
Right.
Yeah.
And I want to say this, the biggest difference between Rueben Bain and Will Campbell. Yes, we talked a lot of crap about Will Campbell because of his arm length. But one of the main reasons why we talked about him like that is because the film showed that that was going to be a problem. Will Campbell plays tackle like if he has 36-inch arms and the anchor of a Trent Williams. That's the
Yeah,
biggest
that too.
difference.
The anchor. Yeah, if Ruben Bain was soft and weak and getting taught like his salad tossed every freaking play,
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't think
But
so. But
that's
no.
the huge difference.
Yes,
Ruben
correct.
Bain
Yeah,
knows who
correct.
he is. He knows he has low arm length. And so he knows he's 6'2 or 6'3, whatever he is. I'm chopping up his height here.
Yeah,
It's 6'2.
he's a
He's
grower.
6'2. He knows who he is. He
Yeah,
plays with tremendous leverage in his
I
game.
think it's a natural leverage. It's
Yes.
just like built in, like an Aaron Donald. I'm gonna use like a weird analogy. I watch UFC. I'm pretty into it. In Sean O'Malley, he's a bigger guy. He's 5'11" for his weight class, right? And there's this guy named Marab one. He's 5'8", and he goes to wrestle him, and he's got good takedown defense, but he's like, well, he's just got the natural leverage, so he can just get up under you, pause, in a way that's just natural, and that's what Ruben Bain does. He gets up under these linemen and forklifts them around. I don't think you touched on it enough. His strength, well, you did. You say his strongest player. They're double teams, and he's just like, I'm just gonna stand here. You guys get away from me. Like, it's that ridiculous. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Here's if, and I don't hate this guy. He's my 1B. I think he's obviously a better player today than Arvell Reese. I think these are the negatives. Of course, the arm length is scary. Let's not pretend like, oh, let's just ignore it. No, no, no. You see it on pop up on some plays. I think where I saw it pop up more than like his pass rush was when he's locked up with the guy and the running back runs past this hole. He'll reach out, and I'm like, oh yeah, there it is, the short arm. Because some D linemen just reach their big paw out and tackle the guy. That's where I saw it mostly. But that's a nitpick. Another thing is, one, how much better do you think he could be in the NFL? That'd be another thing. I think he could just, I think he's so good right now, and he's going to be so good in the NFL. He might not have the absolute ceiling Arvell Reese has, but I think his ceiling's pretty effing high. And then the last thing is, did you think he had an amazing get off? I don't think it's amazing, but I think it's enough to get the job done, especially coupled with rare power that you don't see all the time.
I think he had tremendous get off. Is it Von Miller? No, but I think the get off was
Hey,
more than
you got
capable.
plenty.
He's an athlete. I feel like if he would have ran at the combine, it wouldn't have been like as bad as people think. Like I
Four
seen him
six, I
pursue.
think four
I
six five.
I seen him pursue the quarterback, and he did just fine. He was running his tail off. Like he looks like he has some athleticism to him. He's not a slouch. He's not.
I
He's
know,
not.
but we get so enamored with it,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like the guys who are like Nolan. He's not Nolan Smith, but it's like there's those guys that aren't like Nolan Smith's not as good as Ruben Bain coming out. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
I was really proud of my comp until everyone had it. Like I told you this like 3 months ago. I was like, he looks like Brandon Graham, like a little bit shorter. He kicks guards' ass when he goes inside. He's top 5 pick. He's awesome. He's
Yeah.
my 1B.
Well, I had Terrell Suggs, very similar in
Ooh, I like that.
size, 6'3", just an inch taller. I think his arms were about an inch longer as well. So I would say if you want to compare anyone as far as the body size, I think T Sizzle's pretty close because T Sizzle played with natural leverage
Strong.
and he was strong.
Strong
His
as
arms
shit,
were
yeah.
strong, bro. And he got that ball out. That's probably the biggest difference I can play as far as
Imagine this dude fell to Baltimore. Oh my,
Oh,
they'd be
man.
in love with him.
Yeah. And I come away with this. I forgot if I said it because we did these recordings twice already, but He's my first blue chip guy.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, he's my first blue chip guy in this draft. I'm confident in that. And he's a top 3 pick. I would pick him in anywhere in the top 3. Obviously, quarterback will go 1 because the premium of the position, but you can't go wrong with this guy. This guy is good now. He's a technician. He's a complete player. He has the effort. He has it all but the arm length. And sorry, like I'm not that scared about the arm length. The tape says different.
There's not a lot of premium arm length guys in this draft. Let me get into my number one if that's cool. I want to talk about Arvell Reese.
Well, yeah, let me
He's
introduce him,
introduce him.
Max,
Yeah,
and then we'll get you
yeah.
on.
Talk about
Just for
my guy. Go
just for
for it.
clip's sake. Just for clip's
Yeah.
sake. That's
Clip
it.
it, chat.
Clip that. Anyway, Arvell Reese, 6'4", 241 pounds, ran a 4.46. That is, Max, the 98th percentile on mock draftable. So not a lot of guys moving at that type of speed. He had 27 tackles, 8 sacks, 6 quarterback hits, and 13 hurries. This is all, Max, while playing numerous positions on the
Yeah.
football field.
Matt Patricia had him
yeah.
lining up all over the place, and that's where I kind of got my comp from him. I'm just going to spoil it. He reminded me of the usage was Jamie Collins, and people were going to say, "Oh, well, Jamie Collins didn't rush the passer." Well, at times he did. There were a lot of years where they used him as a blitzer, and Arvell Reese is a absolute weapon as a blitzer. He is ridiculous. There's parts of his game, and I think for him specifically, I don't think there's a great comp to him. You could say Jalen Walker, you could say Nolan Smith, his physicality against the run. When I saw a pulling guard one, he was just like, "Yeah, I'm just going to blow you up. I'm not even going to try to duck around." And that's what worries me about guys like him. And when we did Nolan Smith, we're like, this guy's 235 pounds. How the hell is he going to play edge? And we're like, oh, he's physical is all shit. He's not like some guys you worry about, like, oh, I just want to avoid contact. Well, not him. He is twitched up like in the rare breed of twitchy guys. He's got a good size and frame, and people are gonna say, well, he's light in the ass. Well, he is, but he's 20 years old, and the way he looks and his play strength is ridiculous. He is a projection. I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh, it's a sure thing. I saw great hand usage on film. He doesn't have a counter, but he doesn't need one because he's so freaking athletic in college. You're gonna have to develop that. I don't think Arvell Reese is gonna come into the league next year and get 15 sacks. If I'm wrong, he's my number one. What can I say? He's that good. But there are moments in the film one where you see some good little hand usage. It's just not like Bain. It's not like Bailey. It's not like Messidor.
I would say it's nowhere close to
Yeah,
those
it
guys.
isn't. But he's just this is what edge rushers look like. They're the freakiest of freaks. They're twitched up. He's a top 5 pick for me. Like he and I don't want to act like he wasn't being disruptive in college. He was disruptive as all hell. And he's got the versatility we talk about where you can play him in some coverage, use him as a blitzer, play him at edge. He doesn't move bad in coverage. It's not like he's stiff. He's got good hips. He doesn't have a great feel for coverage. I think he's pretty raw at both positions, and that's the risk. But I don't think there's an edge rusher with more upside than Arvell Reese.
Yeah. So my thing is this: 100%. You're more than able to have this opinion
Just
because
stop right there. You're good. That's all I need to hear. I'm right.
But look, just me. I have him at 3. I'm not gonna act like I have him low on my list. It's just he's
Why
just
hit a
such
home run, Juan?
he's such of
Why
a
hit a home run?
projection. And my thing is this: is that you said right now, oh, he could play linebacker. He can do this. He can do that. Uh, the linebacker tape wasn't all that good. That's the thing. It was all just athleticism and just I'm gonna knock you back. I'm bigger. I'm faster. I'm stronger than you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that. And so the linebacker tape is not all that good, especially when you play middle linebacker. You can't play middle linebacker in the league. I'll tell you that much. You're gonna have to draft this guy in the top 5 as an edge. And if you draft him in the top 5, you're gonna play him at edge. You're not gonna play him at linebacker.
I think his future is at edge. I don't think it's a
Yeah,
linebacker.
100%. And so my thing is that one, he was an easy watch because there wasn't that much film. It wasn't like you were gonna go deep dive 100+ snaps and be like, oh, I'm gonna get some really good reads on Arvell Reese. No, there's maybe like 40 snaps out there, maybe 50 of him legitly rushing the passer. And like Max said, speed to power, had a little Euro step here and there, a little
Yeah.
swipe, but there wasn't much there. But you see the athleticism, you see the raw strength, you see the
And
raw
and
get
that
off.
stuff is like that stuff you just said, it's a pro and a con where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, he doesn't really have a lot of gifts, but you can like that's the stuff that's teachable,
Yeah, 100%.
unfortunately.
And so it's gonna depend on where he lands. It's 100% gonna depend on where he lands. If he's with a team that's not all that good in their department of, developing players like the
Yeah,
Jets.
the Jets, yeah, just staring at him like a barrel of a shotgun.
Yeah, so that kind of scares me. And I don't think I'm willing to take that risk. I'm willing to take that risk anywhere like in the 12,
Yeah.
15
He been
range,
see this guy been
around
hurt
there.
before by these athletic guys because he's a Raider fan. He's been hurt. He
But
doesn't
look,
want to
I
do it.
I just want to I can't say this enough. 100% I get it. I get it, bro. I know what you see. I know what everyone else sees. It's very like fun to watch, fun to project like
Mm,
the capabilities of this guy.
no, you don't know ball. You don't know what you're
Yeah,
talking
no.
about. No,
Absolutely
I
not.
everything you
But
said is
I
warranted.
I would
I
say
agree with
this,
you.
I would love him in a Tevin Smith role. That's what I thought of
Telvin
playing.
Smith from Jacksonville?
Yeah,
Oh,
Telvin
okay.
Smith,
I like that.
playing that will linebacker spot, but you don't draft a guy to play will linebacker at 5. That's just
No,
my thing.
more than
The
likely,
comp was
no.
hard. I agree with that. The comp was hard. It's Jalen
Yeah, it's
Walker,
like
but my
it's just
thing
pieces
is,
of guys.
Max, is that he's not better than Jalen Walker or Micah Parsons as a linebacker coming out. Both of those guys were better linebackers. Now
No, not as
we can have
line.
a
But he's better.
conversation about Abdul Carter, but
He's
definitely
better
not
than
those other
Jalen
two
Carter.
guys.
Better than Jalen Walker as a pass rusher though. All day,
Yeah,
all day,
ability, I guess.
all day.
Yeah, I guess.
God,
I get it. I
you,
hope you get
you
burnt out from this guy, honestly. Honestly,
you
bro.
said the same thing about Odafe Away. You were like, he's OG. He's
And
a
low key, I was winning
Lamborghini.
that. I was
Yeah,
winning that
till
at one
you got a
point.
bag. You got a bag.
Yeah, so did Nick Foles.
All right. Got the job done.
Yeah, I got the job done. All right. Anything else, Max, on your boy Arvell Reese?
No, I want to move to David Bailey because I have him a little higher than you in the tier
Let's
conversation.
do it. Yeah, he's a big commodity. A lot of people have David Bailey as their number one guy, as seen on certain draft boards. David Bailey out of Texas Tech, 6'4", 251 pounds, 33 3/4 arm length, Max. Once again, with the not all that impressive arm length
But in
from
this
certain
class,
guys.
it's a commodity.
Exactly.
It's a commodity.
Yeah, 6'4", 255 pounds. My stats for him were 81 tackles, that's second behind Bain with 83. 15 sacks, that's number one in the NCAA. 23 quarterback hits, which is first in the NCAA, and 43 quarterback hurries. So this guy was productive, and on the tape, Max, I mean, he's a blur. He has the get off, he has the twitchiness. What else did you see from David Bailey, Max?
Of my top 3, he is the best pure pass rusher. I am comfortable saying that. He, the get off that I think Bain kind of lacks, he has it. Like you said, twitchy as all hell. He has the length, especially for this class. His acceleration overwhelms linemen. He threatens the corner with speed. They are so worried about him just bending around the edge and getting an instant sack. They give him opportunities to jump inside, which he has to learn how to do. But he has, it's not like he doesn't have a bag one. He's got a good spin move. And at times you see him jump inside and be like, oh, I'm going to set you up and then explode inside. Because when you saw him as a looper, his acceleration is ridiculous. They put him over a guard sometimes, just overwhelm them. He has plenty of speed to power. My cons, and it's not like a break it con where I can't draft him, but for a guy who I view as a top 10 pick, reminded me of Cliff Averill / D Ford. As a run defender, we need a D-line coach to get in his ass and say, hey, you can't be this twitchy and this gifted and be this shit at run defense. And he's not shit. I'm just saying for where I expect a guy of his caliber with his talent to be at, it's underwhelming. And part of it might be I don't think he's got natural power like an anchor that because he gets moved around in there. And that's what it scares me a little bit. but I
Yeah.
still view him in a really elite class. If you told me in 5 years he's the best pass rusher, I'd be like, the writing was there.
Yeah.
The writing was absolutely there. Some team, like if you put him into the Niners system and just have him a rush, like get wide on third down and go crazy, that is where he's going to make his money. And he's an exceptional player.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of the stuff that you said. I just want to reiterate it. Certified pass rusher, the speed, the power. There's no questions about it. That's what he does best. His tool bag when it comes to inside counter moves is a little bit lacking. I would say that if there's really any
Yeah.
lack in
Because
his
like I
pass
said,
rushing
the
ability.
opportunities are there. They're like, oh,
Yeah,
please, it's there.
yeah. And I wish I can see the bend a little bit more. It seems like he's a little bit wide in his rush at times. I can see that being a little bit of a problem in the NFL because guys' depth are not that deep in the NFL as it is in the NCAA. So I just want to see him do it. I'm confident that he will, but that's something that popped out on tape for me. Very productive. It's going to all depend on him getting his run game going, like being a complete guy. And that's why I put all three of these guys in the same tier with Akeem, Arvell, and David Bailey, because some way or another, whether it's their game, whether it's age, whether it's run defense, whether it's potential to boom or bust, whatever, all of them have an issue with them
You
that you
you
don't
had
like.
Bailey at 4
Yes, I have Bailey at
and
4.
So what made Messidor 2? Well, I have Messidor at 4. So it's a good conversation to have. So what made him 2 above Arvell and Bailey? I guess is my question to you because I look at Messidor. I know we get into him right now, but I look at him as just a little bit like a tier under these 3 guys.
Yeah. Well, let's get into Akeem Messidor then. Akeem Messidor, 25 years old. That's going to be the big talking point on him.
Basically 30.
Yeah.
Basically 30.
Yeah. Might as well come out with it right now. 25 years old, 6'3, 259 pounds. Another low arm length, 32 and 1/8 inches for Akeem Messidor.
10th percentile.
Yeah. 67 tackles, 13 sacks. 4 quarterback hits and 50 hurries. That's second next to his teammate Rueben Bain. Um, Look, he's the second complete guy on the film, and I'm 100% confident, Max, that Akeem Messidor, if he was not 25 years old, he would be a top 5 pick in this draft. I don't feel like there's any reason why you would argue more, is because like he has it all. And besides the arm length being low, which we've already, kind of had of it in concrete with this draft, like that's just kind of the way it is, and it's been like that. I'm not all that worried about it because he has a bag. He has a plan of getting to the quarterback. Um, what's his name? I'm forgetting. Jason Taylor did an amazing job with
Mhm.
Messidor and Bain. You can just tell the coaching that was going on, the Euro steps, the cross chops, you name it. He did it so well. He makes
Spin move
every
at
play.
times.
It
Yeah.
seems like every play, every down, he's giving it his all and effort. Very disciplined player. You rarely see him out of position. Uh, what he lacks is maybe like the narrow base, like to his waist. And it reminded me of a guy like Kayvon Thibodeau, who was kind of top
Okay.
heavy, but with the narrow waist and kind of
Mhm.
like a not like Ruben Bain, very thick at the legs and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's something that popped out on film for me. But the age thing is ridiculous, bro. Like to me, if if
Saying he's
you're
undraftable is
yeah, like to the point
wasn't
where
Jared Verse like 24 when he came out?
yeah, and like to me, bro, it's like if you're the Raiders, if you're the Jets, like there's maybe like 4 teams out there that are legitly rebuilding where they
Yeah,
have
if you're like the
picks.
Eagles at like 20 and he's there, like I'm like,
Yeah, but
take
like
yeah,
even
let's
20
go.
is ridiculous. Like I feel like him dropping to 20 will be like mind-blowing to me. Like the fact that I see
Well, hold on.
Lions,
Let me play devil's advocate. He's been banged up a lot in his
that
like
is
8
true.
years at
That is true.
college.
That's something that yeah,
And
I did dock him on
the
that.
next thing teams are gonna say is he lacks length. And then the last thing I would say is how much better is he gonna be? And I get that, but I feel like part of the it's a pro and a con.
Yeah.
He's super high floor. So how much better is he gonna get? Well, it's also like, well, he's gonna come in day one, and if he was defense rookie of the year, I'd be like, yeah, I get it. he's 25 years old. He's not going to gain like another 20 pounds of muscle like Arvell Reese could. Like he's done growing.
Yeah.
So I guess you just have to weigh that pro and con. But I want to just give him, I just want to touch one thing you didn't say on the pros. He played D tackle last year because they needed him to, and he was good. And now they moved him back to edge where you saw more of his explosiveness. He's a hell of a football player. I have him at 4. I don't think he has the ceiling for me, and maybe that's why he's in a tier, and that's why he's in a tier of his own. Not a tier of his own, but in the next tier down. But I think he's a hell of a football player. He's a mid first round pick to me. I wouldn't
Yeah.
pick him in the top 10.
Well, that's
don't
because
even
of
pick
his
a-
age. That's the that's the. I think
Yeah,
that's the
there's
plain
also a couple
reason.
other things like I just don't think, like I said, I don't think the ceiling's there, but that could be age related. I think the other 3 guys are kind of in a like their ceiling is ridiculous.
The fact that he's 25, right, and he's his second contract, he's going to be around 29 to 30 years old, and I
That
get
second
it.
contract's gonna suck. He's Calvin
Yeah.
Ridley over here.
Yeah, and I get that. I 100% get that. But like I said, there's only a few teams that are rebuilding, and like for Lions and Bears fans to say that it will be dumb for us to pick this guy
Bro,
because
the
he's
Bears,
25.
that's like a win now pick. This is
I
like
know,
who
I
you
know, I
pick.
agree. And a lot of fan bases are like, we shouldn't touch this dude. He's 25 years old. He's so old. Bro, he's a great player. Why are you just like throwing him to the
You
side?
acting like we got to remove him from our draft board because he's 25. Like
Yeah.
that is ridiculous. I agree with you.
Yeah, and
I do.
to me, if he wasn't 25, he would be a top 10 pick. I find it very hard to say that like, oh, he's a late first round pick. You know, like no, this guy has some talent. He's right now, he is arguably, you can argue this, the best defensive end in this class because at times on the Miami tape, Messidor was the best looking edge on tape. Certain plays. I'm just gonna say that watching Rueben Bain, and that's coming from a guy who loves Rueben Bain. That's how much I
get
thought
it.
of Messidor.
I got you.
Another thing on David Bailey, you wanted to contrast the differences between him and Messidor,
yeah.
but Bailey for me, you would say the potential, right? Like, oh, he can be a Von Miller. I don't see the potential that big with him. I see him more as kind of like a high floor guy because he's a certified pass rusher. Like, you know, he's going to be able to rush the passer. And so the comps that I came up for him was like a Josh Sweat or maybe like a Bruce Irvin type of guy. Guys who were very productive, you know, sack specialists, but were just never that complete player, that complete guy. And to me, you have to be a complete player to be an all-pro caliber guy. And so, you know, maybe he's going to make a bunch of all Pro Bowls and have a bunch of stats. That's fine. And you know what? If you draft a guy at 10 like that, shit, I'll take that. I'll sign up for that. But I think I like Messidor a little bit more because I do think he has that all-pro potential. I really like Hakeem a lot, man. I think a lot of people are overblowing that 25 years old thing with him.
I got you. I agree with you. I agree.
All right. Let's move on to your number 5 guy, or you want to go to my number 5?
No, I want to go to mine because he's a unique player in this class.
Okay, let's do it. Let's move on to the edge, Zion Young. And I say it like that because this is the first tweener on our list, Max.
He is kind of a tweener. Yeah,
6'6", 258 pounds, 34 and 1/8 arm length.
I feel like I fall in love with these guys. I fall in love with these guys.
You like
Darius Robinson, who really got me good. Another guy, was he from Missouri too, right?
Yeah, from Missouri.
Something about that damn jersey and these type of guys.
57 tackles, 8 sacks, 17 quarterback hits, and 32 hurries. Now, Max, what did you see on film from Zion Young?
The absolute sheer size and frame of this guy. He's a monster. I don't believe for a second he plays at 262. He looks like he's 275. The power is Bane level, like just 10 out of 10. He does not get moved. He moves people as a run defender. Outstanding. Now, the part that's a little scary is you're going to say, well, I would agree with you. I don't think he can live on the edge. He can't just let's pin his ears back. every snap and go get the quarterback. No, he's going to have to move inside. I think his versatility is one of the things I love about him. He could play 3-4 end. He could play a 4-3 interior type role for times. Maybe you're playing the Eagles and you want to get big against the run. Hey, big MF, or go play edge this week. You got to set a hard edge. He can do that. He moves guys, like I said, out of his way at will. He needs to refine his hands as a pass rusher. That's going to be the thing that's going to hold him back from pass rushing success in the NFL to start his career. He doesn't have the elite explosion / twitch, but I think he's got plenty of quickness. When he lined up on guards, he whooped their ass with quickness. That is one of the things I love about him. One note off the field, he had a DWI arrest when he was younger. I don't look at that as, oh, we can't draft him. My player comp is like a DeMarcus Lawrence, especially for the Seahawks. Like, oh, he's on the edge, first and second comes in, Leonard Williams type of guy. He can be a special player. He's a mid-first round pick.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed watching him.
I had him more on the projection of the edge because I think obviously he tried to lose some weight for the combine, try to make himself get a little bit lighter, a little bit faster. And I think he needs to lean into the tweener thing. And I see him as a 3-tech kind of guy. And one of the best players in this draft when it comes to stopping the run. It was ridiculous, bro. Double teams, just consistently effing up the play. Had the ability to catch quarterbacks on the rollout and make splash plays in the backfield on the running back. You just gotta love what you see, man. He is not gonna wow you with this ability to bend and to get off, but he's gonna bull rush you to death. He's gonna get his hands inside on you first. The length and size, you gotta love it because you can do a lot of creative stuff with him on your defense. You can play him inside and play him outside, just like Max said. So that's great. Yep. His floor is perfect. Your second pass rusher to pair up with your alpha. Great pick in the late first round to second round.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah,
I totally agree with everything you said.
My comp was Tuli
Tuipulotu?
Yeah, Tuli. I comped him more on the edge.
He's more edgy. Like, yeah, he's more like straight edge, but I get it. Both guys strong as an ox.
Yeah, 100%, bro. All right, anything else on Zion Young, Max?
No, let's get I think Derek Moore is your number 5, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do him, and then we'll start just brushing over some of the guys because we'll be here for 2 hours if we keep talking.
So Derek Moore was a late ad on Max's list. I told him to for sure watch this guy because Max.
I was like, "Yo, is Derek Moore worth the watch?"
Yeah.
Boy, was he! Boy, was he!
Derek Moore, 6'4", 255 pounds out of Michigan, 33-inch arm length. Look, the stats. I think he has the production: 41 tackles, 11 sacks, 9 quarterback hurries, 20 quarterback hits. So very productive player. Michigan wasn't all that good this year, but
tough when your coach is, getting arrested on national TV. Kind of a tough look.
But first thing that popped out, man, reminds me a lot of Jared Verse, and this is high praise because I know Jared Verse is an all-pro caliber guy, but power rusher. First thing that pops out. He has the perfect body and length to him. Like, if you're going into the draft and you're like, what is your typical edge rusher? What do you want him to look like?
Yeah.
I want to have some length. I want him to be a little stocky at the bottom. You know what I mean? Like, he has the perfect
another guy.
Length.
I think he played bigger than 255 in the season. I think he was closer to 265. My number one note was, holy shit, this guy looks like an edge rusher. It's an amazing edge rushing body. Please continue talking.
Counters are lacking if you want to go to cons.
Raw hands.
Yeah, raw hands. He's not the biggest technician in the world, but that comes from him just knocking guys over. Like, he's a guy that your typical speed the power guy, and he's going to love to do that. I don't think you
touched on this. He wasn't always, like, this was his first year getting, I think, real playing time, really producing at a high level at the edge. I think the raw hands thing is like, it's a double-sided sword. It's like, hey, he doesn't know what he's doing. We can teach him.
Yeah.
But it's also like, well, maybe he won't figure it out. Right. That's something you really have to weigh. I don't know if you touched on this. His power is out of this world. He just moves linemen away. The speed to power. I think the one thing that holds him back for me is I think he had really good power. I think he had pretty good speed, but I wasn't like, oh, it's elite. It's elite. And that's where I have him closer to 7. But I think you kind of lean into it a little bit more. You're a little higher on him than I am.
Yeah, because
But
Jared
again, this
Verse,
is a
we kind of felt like that coming out. That's why he went in the
yeah.
more like later first round,
And
maybe
that's
like
where I
maybe
see this guy
mid.
going late first, early second. But I think this guy could be a freaking steal, man. A
Dude,
real
like
steal.
I don't think he's that high on a lot of guys' draft boards,
No, I think we're higher on
honestly.
him than most people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him too, and I have him at 7. And I was like, how do I? I was like, do I put him even higher? Because I kind of want to, because I
Yeah.
believe in him. I
And I
believe in him.
think a lot of people are going around, you've been hearing it all draft season that this is one of the weaker drafts, right? And everyone's looking forward to
Not at
next
edge.
draft.
Not at edge, baby.
I think when you look back at this draft, it's going to be guys like this, the Derek Moores of this draft that make it the highlights.
Even his teammate, Jay-Sean
Yeah.
Barham, I liked. I was like, yeah, I could see this guy being good too in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're going to touch on a bunch of guys. That's a questionable statement I just said. We're going to touch on a bunch of these prospects. They all have like a pathway to being special.
Yeah.
And that's what's rare. And that's one thing I can't wait to touch on as we move on.
Yeah. Anything else on Derek Moore, Max?
No, I'm really glad you told me to watch him. He was outstanding.
Yeah.
Really was.
So who's your number 7 guy?
Gabe. Gabe is my number 6. Gabe Yakas. Another guy. If you want to do your intro, go for it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Let's do it. Let's get into Gabe Jaquez. 6'4", 260 pounds, 33-inch arm length. I'm so happy that Max got his name right. Usually I'm the guy that's butchering guys' names. I'm glad I got this one.
You've butchered plenty this episode, I'm sure.
So this is probably the biggest discrepancy that we have. I have Gabe Jaquez at 10, and 41
you
tackles.
Underestimate his athleticism. I think that's where we differ.
41 tackles, 12 sacks, 7 quarterback hits, 22 quarterback hurries. I'm going to say this. He loves to beat your face in. That's what I got out of his film. He was just beating
another guy
guys'
looks like
face
an
in.
edge rusher, just muscle hand, like muscled out, big frame. I love his burst off the line of scrimmage. His quickness is above average. The speed to power, the strong hands. He loves to be physical. That's something I loved about him. One thing I loved about him, this is like a minute thing, is when he tried to win with the edge, some guys just it's like, I'll just get wider. And the tackle like pushes them away. There was plenty of like plays on snaps where he's like, okay, let me slam my foot into the ground and spin back, and so I don't overshoot the quarterback. I love that. His hands are still a little bit raw, and he plays a little bit high at times. That's the things that really worried me. But again, this is a late first round pick, early second round pick. He reminded me of Trey Hendrickson.
Wow, that's high praise.
But Trey Hendrickson didn't figure it out right away. This was a few years and he became who he was.
Yeah. My comp for him was George Karlaftis, just because both guys are super strong.
Too.
Yeah, those guys are super strong. But I mean, Karlaftis is not an all-pro guy. Like Trey Hendrickson is an all-pro type of player.
No, but Karlaftis is really above average.
He's good.
Player.
No, yeah, and I think that speaks. And I think that speaks to the depth of this class. Is that I have a guy like Gabe Jaquez at 10, and I don't think that's any slight at him.
And you have a first round grade on him almost.
I have a second round. And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets picked in the late first round because he's a talented player. One of the things that I loved out of him, multiple stances. On film, he was standing up. He had his hand in the dirt. He's a 3 tech. I think defensive coordinators are going to love that. And something that he can improve on, I put the pass rushing ability. I think Karlaftis had some work to do in the pass rushing ability when he was coming out. Like, we knew he can stop the run. We knew he was strong as hell and going to beat guys' faces in, but how are you going to improve as a pass rusher? And I think we've been barely seeing it the last, 2 years out of Karlaftis, that pass rushing ability. So that's something I thought of with Gabe Jaquez. And granted, he probably has a longer road than George, because I do think Karlaftis is a touch more talented than this guy. But
I think hand-wise he was more talented, but this guy's a better athlete. Not that George was a slouch. But.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, but he's going to be I think this guy's going to be a productive player. I think some of the tweeners in this class with Gabe Jaquez and Zion Young, I think I see them being some pretty productive guys other than like Shamar Stewart's of the world of last year. I just feel a lot different. And I feel a
I
lot more
where would
confident.
Let's have this quick discussion. Where would Shamar Stewart fit on your edge list this year?
Oh, he's not making the
Last year,
10.
yeah, I
Again,
think I had him at 9. I'm pretty comfortably saying you're falling out of the 10 for me.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And I feel pretty good about that. I mean, just I'm saying coming out, not after witnessing last year, but I feel like that was like we were right on our evaluation.
Yeah. Now let's get into my number 7 guy, and then we'll hit your guy. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to go to Cassius Howell. Okay. Cassius Howell out of, sorry, I'm looking for his name. There we
Texas
go.
A&M, baby.
Texas A&M, Cassius Howell, 6'2", 253 pounds, 30-inch arm length, 41 tackles, 12 sacks. Very productive player. 2 quarterback hits and 27 quarterback hurries. All right. I have a first-round grade on Cassius Howell. The arm length is something to mention, but honestly,
Yeah.
a lot of his cons have nothing to do with his arm length. Like, I feel like when you look at the film, kind of like Rueben Bain, where it's like, okay, he has short arms. Let's see how it's going to affect him. I don't think a lot of his problems have to do with that. He is a guy who is below average in the run game. So if he's
Yeah.
not knifing through gaps, he's not making splash plays and not getting washed out most of the time, um, he can be a very productive player. But this dude has heavy hands. He has pretty strong arms, kind of like Ruben Bain. Anytime he has to swipe or chop down on a pass rush moves, the strength pops out on the film because he is not a scrawny guy. You think like some of these guys like Cassius Howell with his size, like, oh, he's going to be scrawny, like, oh, narrow base. No, like he has a good base. He has a good body on him. He actually has a plan going to the quarterback because he has counters to go with the speed rush, has a nasty inside spin move. One of the best inside spin moves that I've seen in the draft. Sounds like a broken record, but he needs to add some refining to his game, and he has short arms. Like I sound like a broken record with some of these guys, but it's the truth.
I don't agree with a few of the things you said. I think he's got amazing speed to power, but that power shows up to me. The lack of power shows up to me in the run game. How he just gets washed. He gets just blown off the ball at
Yeah, I said
times.
that he gets washed out of the
Well, yeah,
plays.
but no, but then you said he has like he's got strong hands when he does moves. I don't agree. I think that's just the speed of it all. I want it. This to me, I can't draft this guy in the first round. I know I put end of the like first round to second. He's a second round player with some really high upside. The play strength and I think the length itself is going to be a bigger problem in the NFL than we saw in college. To me, he's Bryce Huff. He is absolutely explosive. He's 4.59 40. The 10-yard split was in the 92nd percentile. That is explosive at its core. He's a scheme specific player. You cannot play him in every scheme. I think he's going to be a pass rush specialist in the NFL. There's talent there. There's absolutely talent. He's made my 10, but I don't look at him as a first round pick in all reality of it. There's still a lot to like.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't go in the first round. I would pick him at the end of the first.
Bane's arms were a concern, but this guy's like an inch. Like this guy barely broke 30. That's
Yeah. No, I get
yeah.
you. And my comp to him was Nick Herbig, another guy with short arms, pass rush
Mm.
specialist, not much against the run. He can make some splash plays, but he can rush the passer. That's what Nick
I
Herbig
could
does
totally see him
really
being
good.
like Bryce Huff on the Jets, where it was just like, damn, that guy's really good when he comes in and gets like 8 sacks a year. That's what he could do in the NFL.
Yeah, and a guy that's scheme specific because
Yep.
he was just not good after he left
Watch
the Eagles.
Watch the Titans draft him.
Did Bryce
Salah.
Huff retire?
Yeah, he did recently. Shout out to him.
Goodness.
Good for you. Way
All
to
right.
steal them money from the Eagles.
Let's move on. Who are we missing from your list that we haven't hit? 6, 7?
I
Did
wanna-
you hit those?
We did hit 6, 7. Let's do Malachi Lawrence. He's my 8, and I'm gonna make this one quick.
I love Malachi Lawrence, man. Let's hit him.
That's the only type of guy.
Yeah, 6'4", 253 pounds for Malachi Lawrence, 33 and 5/8 arm length out of UCF, 40 tackles, 7 sacks, 3 quarterback hits, and 30 hurries. Malachi Lawrence is kind of like the watered down version of David Bailey in this draft, I would say.
That's a great way to say it.
Yeah,
That's a great way to
you
say it.
know, if you really like David Bailey, you're probably gonna like Malachi Lawrence, and he has great twitch to him. He
Yep.
plays with great leverage. He has great athletic profile for the body that he has, but it's really just him stopping the runs. He's just not a complete player. What did you see on the film, Max?
You absolutely said it. He threatens the edge with his speed, but he needs to add some counters to it. It's like, hey, I'm like, you can go inside, right? I was like, that's all I kept thinking. I was like, beat him inside once or twice. And again, you see it, just not enough. He needs to refine his plan. He closes the gap quickly with his acceleration. He has the speed to power, but he doesn't have just violent hands. And what I mean, he's light in the ass. He lacks play strength. The run defense was bad. He's a good player. He's to me is a late first round, second round pick. This guy to me was Bruce Irvin.
I feel that. I feel that. Look, to me, once I start getting out of that top 5, I change my mentality. I think I have the mentality of Max where I start looking for the potential guys at this point for the biggest value. And Malachi Lawrence is one of those guys where you can pick at the first, that first half of the second round because that's where I have him. And yes, 100%, you can get a Bruce Irvin. My low end comp for him was Daryl Taylor. You can get a guy like that, right?
Mm, yeah,
But I think he
good
also
NFL
has
player.
the potential to be, laugh at this whatever you want. But Brian Burns, once upon a time, had trouble stopping the run, light in the ass. All
Just
these
trade,
things.
yeah,
Yeah, all
yeah,
these
just
things that
trades
you're
up the
saying,
ass.
Brian Burns had all those issues, and you should know firsthand, a guy who was on Brian Burns early in his career, that you can build on that and you can turn in a guy like Brian Burns into an all pro player. We've seen it done.
Yeah,
And so I get
there's
excited.
potential.
I get excited when I see a guy like Malachi Lawrence because that's the potential I see is Brian Burns. So
I
I
like
really
that.
like it. One thing that really bothered me on film that Brian Burns didn't have, he misses way too many tackles. I
Yeah, he
want to
does.
say he
He's
he had a
stiff.
high
He's a
miss
little
tackle rate.
stiff. He's a little stiff. And one thing I noticed too, I didn't mention it, was his deceleration. He's got to like chop his steps. He can't just plant his foot in the ground and go.
Yeah.
That's one thing I noticed. But I think he's got a lot more upside than my number 9, TJ Parker. And that's why, again, Malachi Lawrence was the end of that tier.
Yeah.
Because, moving on to TJ Parker, we'll get into it right now. And this will
Yeah.
be very quick. He's a very high floor player.
Yeah, 100%. TJ Parker, 6'4", 263 out of Clemson. Like Max said, high floor. The first thing I put, looks the part. He
Yeah, he
does.
does.
He looks the part. He has the body. He has the length. You see the pass rushing moves at times. Great. I wouldn't even say that.
Every
Good.
Clemson guy last year was higher on like the big board than they are this year. And
Yeah.
that's where to me it got a little scary where it's like 2024, I liked him a lot more. He looked way better of an edge. He looked
He
slimmer.
looked
He looked
good
more
in
explosive.
2024. It wasn't amazing though.
I think it was a lot better than 2020. 2025 looked like he bulked up and he didn't look as explosive to me. But here, let me do everything. He's the jack of all trades. He's got good hands. He's got good power. He's got good athleticism. There's nothing special that I saw in 2025. He doesn't have a huge punch. He doesn't have the ability to threaten the edge and bend around it. He's a high floor player. He's a Derek Barnett type of guy. And people are going to say, Derek Barnett, you loved him coming out. He's an Eagle. Derek Barnett has been in the NFL almost 10 years. He's just a productive player, but he's never great. He's an average starting player. Now, Parker has a little bit more upside. But to me, it doesn't warrant him. Like, he's a late first. I don't even think he'll go in the first. I think he's a second round pick.
Yeah.
I could see someone falling. If you buy into the hype, he's a late first round pick at the best. Like, if he got taken at 12, I'd be like, you're smoking drugs.
It just depends on what games you watch. The one thing I put in my notes, if you want to see the first round pick and a top 10 pick, look at the South Carolina game. It's
Yeah,
everything that you
kicked
want.
ass.
Yeah, he's so complete and he wrecks shop. Uh he's 21 years old. He is super young. So the
Yep.
same respect that we give to Arvell Reese, I'm getting better. we got to have that in the back of our mind with TJ Parker. He is still a very young guy. So the upside is there, like you said. Um, you can't pass up on him in the second round. I feel like if you're passing up on him by that second round, that's where you want to take a guy like this, where,
He's a Baltimore Raven, bro, where he's just gonna be like he's gonna be solid as hell, bro.
yeah,
Pause.
yeah.
But
And you got to love to see it where in the Senior Bowl, he did have some highlight plays. He was putting some offensive linemen on
looked
his on
better.
their
Looked
ass.
better.
Yeah, and you seen him flash, man. It's just you want to see more. Just I hope he doesn't come into one of these players in the league that's just like, man, you have these big games sometimes, but you're just not consistent. I know you have it in there, you just can't put it all together. I have a feeling that TJ Parker's probably going to be that guy, honestly. But I
I
have him
kinda
at
feel that.
9. You have him at
9.
9. Okay. So who are we missing? Because I got all my guys.
Got all my guys.
All right. Let's
I
go
think we
ahead and
should each
gloss.
highlight. I want to highlight one guy. I want you to
Okay.
highlight one guy of the 15 and
Okay.
go kind of. We'll
I
gloss
want
the other ones, but just pick one of the 15.
I want to pick my number 11 guy because I was so close to putting him on my list, and he's probably one of the most interesting prospects in this draft. I've been hearing guys say he's a first rounder. I've been hearing guys say that he's a third rounder.
Who's your 11?
Keldrick Falk
Oh my gosh.
out
Are you
of Auburn.
serious?
Yeah, out of Auburn, 6'6", 276 pounds, 33-inch arm length. He's a tweener. You want to say all this talk about those other guys being tweener? This is a
Yeah,
tweener.
I agree.
Look at his
I totally
look at his
agree.
weight, 276, 6'6". Um, he is just not a real edge. He's more effective
agree.
as a 3 tech. Most of his film, he's playing inside. And for now, as far as putting him at edge, he's going to have to lose a lot more weight. I don't think he needs to do that. Put him at D tackle. We'll love him there. The run defense is amazing. The short area quickness, it's there. I wouldn't touch this guy in the first round. Way too risky.
I agree.
Especially if you're planning on playing him at edge or at a 3 tech kind of guy. I think he reminds me a lot of a guy like Draymond Jones or a Danico Autry. Like if he can develop
I
those
thought of
pass rushing
Mykel
abilities.
Williams. I thought of Mykel Williams,
Yeah,
but like a lesser version of him.
way less.
Obviously.
I think Mykel was a
Yeah.
lot more athletic
Just
than this
the
guy.
height and like the thing that like made me put him so low, and maybe I didn't grade him enough like on the tweener set. I was like, because he kept saying I'm gonna play edge. Your get off is horrible if you're an edge. You're never
Yeah.
gonna. You can't be an edge and just be like, hey, I'm never gonna beat you outside. I'll never beat you with speed. You have to have that threat to open up everything else. He could be a good run defender, absolutely. But I think if he's going to be successful, he's got to play some edge, like against the run heavy teams. And then when it's pass rush time, you have to make your living on the inside. And the one thing that scares me is if you're going to go on the inside and you're light in the ass, it's not going to work for you in the NFL.
Yeah, he needs to decide what
He's a
he's going to
second
be.
to third round pick to me. I mean, I think more of a third round pick in my opinion.
As a defensive tackle, what would you grade him? Is he a first rounder as a defensive tackle?
No, I think second round, still second.
I don't.
I
think
have.
so.
He'd grade out better at D tackle. For him,
I think
had
he's a first round D
75.
tackle. I think he's a first round.
I
D
don't
tackle.
agree with that.
I think he's a first round D tackle, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes in the first. I think a lot of teams are gonna love this kid because he has some pretty good athleticism for his size. That's hard to come by. When you're that much weight, that big, and you're that effective against the run,
But if he's so good, why is he trying to become edge? Why?
because the money's there. That's why, and he's more
I mean,
valuable.
I
like
get
that.
it's more money, but like I don't think the success rate's there.
He's just more valuable like that. I feel like he's just like, hey, I can play edge. I'm that athletic. That's the thing.
He's not though. He's not athletic enough to play edge, in my opinion.
I disagree. I think he can.
Well,
he can
you
play
think
a
Cooper
3 tech.
Kupp's athletic,
He
so
can play. He can play 3 tech. I think if you're looking for a high potential type of comp for him, Cameron Jordan. Cameron Jordan is 290 and he plays edge, so it's not impossible.
yeah.
Okay, who's your highlighted guy?
I want to talk about Romello Height from Texas Tech, David Bailey's counterpart. 6'3", 239 pounds, definitely light in the ass, 32.25-inch arms. This isn't my player comp, but I said this earlier. He looks like Von Miller in every way. The skinniness, the height, like the stance he takes. He's a really exceptional athlete, covers ground, good first step, good motor. The issue is, and you're gonna understand this, he's so light in the ass he can only rush the passer at this point. But again, he's 25 years old, just like what's his name, Akeem Messidor. So I don't think he's going to get much bigger, much stronger. This could be a guy like Nick Bonito, who's just a hell of a pass rusher. And maybe in 2 or 3 years, he could be something a little bit more. But it scares me because he's 25.
Yeah.
I'm just betting on his athleticism. That's really what it is. And that's why I had him at, I think, what I have him at 13. 13.
I have him at 13 as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I couldn't
Yeah.
help myself. He's literally the poor man's versions of David Bailey because
Yeah.
I was just watching them too.
Super poor man version of Von Miller.
Yeah.
Super poor.
But yeah, light in the ass, weight room. Doesn't have the best inside counter move. But I get you. Like some games you see him, you're like, who the hell is that?
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's light. He's gonna have to get in the weight room, bro, and he's gonna have to learn how to play against the run.
Yeah.
I can see what you're talking about. Let's gloss over Jashawn Barham out of Michigan, another twitchy guy, another speed demon on off the edge, light in the ass type of dude. He is 240, 6'3". Just a couple of things that I seen from him as far as tape was decent. He was just inconsistent. Really just a good first step. He's a poor man's Jalen Walker. He has more
He's
potential.
an athlete.
Yeah, he's an athlete. And I seen him play a little bit of linebacker at times on Michigan. And my comp for him was Odafe Owe. It's just
I like that.
light in the ass.
He reminded me of David and Jabo, but again, lighter in the ass version. But he's got the traits. He's got good bend. He missed a lot of tackles, which I hate. He's over aggressive to like the point where I'm like, dude, you gotta stop. Like, let's figure it out. Again, though, it's the tools, and can he figure it out? So he's worth a day 2 pick, second or third round pick.
100%.
I want to ask you about R. Mason Thomas, and then I think we should get out of here.
Okay.
He's from Oklahoma. What did you think of R. Mason Thomas?
Look,
he's high. People are really high on him.
Yeah, the injury stuff kind of scared me. He missed multiple games every single year. Not surprising for a guy with his build. Reminds me a lot of Samson.
Ekubum?
Yeah, thank you. Because of the athletic build.
Talking shit about me. Look at you.
Ability to pursue. You got to like it. There's just so many times where he had the highlight play in hand and he just couldn't complete it.
Not a finisher.
Yeah, not a finisher, bro. But has some twitch to him. Really like the get off. And his length is going to force him to be utilized smart. I see him as like a wide 9 fight tech type of guy.
Gets so many Bryce Huff / Nick Benitos in this class type guy. I hated the fact he missed injuries in 3 years. I'm like, you get injured in college, you're going to get hurt in NFL. He lacks the length and power. But again, there's a path to specialness to him. Like he's a twitchy guy. But yeah, not Mike. The traits weren't like the traits weren't enough to make up for what he didn't have, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. All right. I think that's going to do it. This was another long one, but look, it was a great class, man. Love the edges. One of the best that we have evaluated in a very long time. I'm excited to see where these guys go. I want to ask you one last question. Okay. Over under 5 guys in the first round. It's a lot.
I think it's 5. Say 5.5. I'll go under.
No, it's 5. Over or under?
It can't be 5. It has to be over. It has to be 5.5.
Okay, 5.5. Over or under?
Over.
So 6 guys.
Yeah, if you count Zion Young as an edge.
Yeah. All these guys that we have on our list.
Yeah. Let's say over for sure. Yeah,
I think it's going to be over too. I think
so.
Our 1 through 6 is going to get drafted. Zion Young,
so too.
Moore, Bailey, Reese, Messidor, and Bain are all going to get drafted in the first round. Maybe we get a surprise with Cassius Howell or maybe TJ Parker. That's going to do it for now, guys. We hope you guys enjoyed this scouting video for the edges. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below any thoughts, opinions that you guys have. Just a little quick reminder, April 23rd, we're going to be going live with the boys. All right, we're going to have Joey and Dak on their special guests. Dak is working really hard. He's going to be producing the show. So big
Sorry
shout
in
out to
advance
Dak.
for Joey, guys. Sorry in advance.
Joey didn't do that bad for day 2. All right. He didn't do that bad.
If I wasn't fighting for my life, I would have been there.
But I think that's going to do it. Max, any last words?
No. F technology. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are killing it. On to the next position group, which we're still working on.
Exactly. On to the next one. We out. Peace.
Big dreams, everything ain't what it seems. Glittering gold both ways. Not on my team. This organic.